So just really quick, the story that we talked about earlier about Steven Crowder getting red pilled, etc.
Right.
I wanted to share you this. Right here is a very similar story like I was explaining before. Jake's going to tell you the story here and then give you the aspect of that. Then Andrew's going to give the take.
Okay.
I have one more story I wanted to share with you. Now, this story has made my week. Israel Adesanya, UFC star, shocking financial twist. Ex-girlfriend ordered to pay him. So in summary, UFC champion Israel Adesanya's financial setup where his mother manages all of his assets led to a court ruling that he has zero personal net worth. His ex-girlfriend, Charlotte Powdrell, seeking a share of his $15 million fortune, was instead ordered to pay him $500,000. The legal outcome has sparked debate about wealth management and legal loopholes, drawing comparisons to Harkemized strategy seen in other athletes' cases. Now, I just want you to imagine for a second.
So really quick, OJ, I've heard this type of story similar to like there was a soccer player. I can't remember the name of him, but it was the same thing. Soccer player, multimillionaire. He got married. I think she was married with him for a couple years, divorced him, expected to get half of his net worth. Turned out, fucker put his money under his mother's name, and she didn't get a fucking cent. In fact, she made more money than him and she had to pay him out. So this was something that actually happened years prior before. This guy right here, which Jake's going to explain, and then Andrew's going to give the take here, just to give you some clarity. This is not the first time.
So basically he took that idea.
Perhaps so, but a little bit differently. Check this out.
You can imagine this, Andrew, and anyone watching this can just imagine this. You are a professional kickboxer. You have come from Nigeria to New Zealand. You have worked your entire life. You have blood, sweat, and tears in the gym. You've been to China and all of these different places. You've done hundreds of professional fights. You're risking brain damage. You've had your head bashed in. And then you go and become world champion. And finally, after all of these years, you've finally made it to the pinnacle. And you've made some money for yourself, God forbid. And you start dating a girl for 1 year. Not married, just dating a girl for 1 year. And then this greedy bitch wants to come and take half of everything you've ever earned. And how satisfying is it that he had none of his assets in his name and then he ended up taking her for half?
Well, not only is it satisfying, but the thing is that as men like Andrew Tate came along and started telling younger men, when you become successful, you need to set up your finances in such a way where women can't strip them from you, but should be assured that they can. In other words, go ahead and think that you can take my wealth. I've made arrangements so that you never can take my wealth. But as long as you think you can, you'll show your true colors very, very quickly. And if that's the case, then I'm protected both ways, right? So it's kind of a brilliant strategy. And yeah, it's very satisfying to watch. And yeah, you know what, chick, pay up. Pay up. It blew up in your face for once. And you happen to be the one. But as that draws more attention, right, women will demand laws get reformed so that they can continue the predatory behavior. That's what they'll do. I guarantee.
You know, I think he's not wrong on that, bro.
Nah, I think this is why you have the Democrat Party doing that whole little fight shit that they're doing.
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna fight for you.
Yeah, no, they're gonna fight for themselves. You know, they're gonna bring back everything that can cater to women versus like, hey, what can cater to everyone altogether. Right. So that's what I think that's what's happening after what he said. That
yeah. So I want to revisit this. OJ, you asked me earlier. You were like, hey man, Donald Trump has gotten more male votes than the past year in the past elections. Men came out and voted against all of the lunacy that women have. Yeah. I said it this way. I said, if it wasn't, and look, here's the thing. What I've noticed is that men, biologically, men usually have more of a incentive or biological incentives to protect women. We can't help it, right? We have cases like, for example, what happened in the Joker massacre that happened over there during the Dark Knight, right? You had multiple men that were jumping on women to protect them from the shower of bullets that happened, right? It's a natural instinct for men to protect. So I think that women, once now they're able to vote, women don't give a shit about others. They care
No.
about themselves. If you look at the voting patterns of women, the number one issue is what? Abortion, right? That's like
Yeah,
the biggest one.
that was the biggest one, especially during the midterm election.
Yes,
That hey, it was the economy as number one, but what came in number two was the abortion.
the abortion one. Okay,
When Roe versus Wade, and
yeah,
rolled out and saying, hey, it goes back to the state. Of course, the Democrat used
right,
that as leverage,
right.
and then of course all these women like, no, they're taking our rights to for an
They're
abortion.
taking our rights away, right? It's the same thing.
Like,
So
okay, so we're taking your rights to delete.
delete, yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's what it is. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're
But
stupid.
that's the thing. So that's the thing, bro. Women will usually vote on their own things. Because what I've noticed is that women don't care about males' issues, right? But men drastically do care about women's feelings and their issues. If you look at throughout the years, like you said, the popular vote hadn't been won in 20 years. Men were
Since the
drastically
Bush era.
voting on the feelings of women, right? We all
Yeah.
did that. We have a biological nature to protect them. Women don't have that. They don't care about other men, so they'll vote on behalf of themselves. Now with Andrew Tate coming in and fresh and fit, bringing on these delusional women and saying, "Hey, look how they're doing it. They want equality. Let's give them equality." Now in
Yeah.
2024, we had so many men, and we saw the stats on this, right? Hispanic men jumped up like 20%. Black men jumped up around 10 to 15%. Men came out and voted and said, you know what? You want equality? Fuck that shit. I don't want to kill babies. I don't want to fucking, vote on their behalf anymore, because at the end of the day, I think men are very much waking up to this. And again, that goes back to what I was saying before, OJ, and I think you would agree with me on this, that I believe Andrew Tate was a net positive overall
Yeah.
going forward, right? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
he definitely was. I mean, I know, like, the right side will be like, hey, it's divided when it comes to Andrew Tate. I don't think that it should be. It's just like, okay, maybe he said some things that you all don't like. Maybe you all believe the fucking news that came out. At the end of the day, he's still walking free. He didn't get prosecuted. As we saw, like, look at Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh got accused of the same shit. Donald Trump got accused of the same shit. Matt Gaetz was getting accused of the same shit when he was gonna run for attorney general. So before Pam Bondi came
What a
into play.
coincidence.
What a coincidence. Yeah, like, okay, like, so every time that this whole thing comes out, it's like, hey, there's some kind of situation that comes out that, hey, men are, raping or doing all these different things or being part of human trafficking. It's like, no, it's not true. If there was really solid evidence, wouldn't you think that it would have been publicized if you're really trying to get that person?
Yeah.
Like, hey, they were out. How many times did they prosecute Donald Trump again?
34 times.
It was 34. No, that was counts. That was
Oh
counts.
yeah, four times. I'm sorry, four times and 34 counts on it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
something like
So,
that. Oh, no,
so
92, bro. It was 92 counts. He got convicted of 34 of them. That's what that was. That's how fucking lunacy it was, bro. How the Democrats need the woman vote. This is why they cater to them. This is why they bring in the stupid TikToks of these stupid women jumping up and down like choose your fucking fighter.
No.
It's cringe. They're totally out of touch. And I think a big part of that was because of the RP, especially when it comes to marriage, especially when it comes to all these things that we needed this revolution to happen. And again, we see it come full circle. Ladies, it's your fucking fault. You guys voted for this shit. And at the end of the day, we're taking it back.
They're doing it right now. Guarantee now, as we
100%.
speak, they're doing it to try to make sure that in the future, the evil man can't hide his money from a fucking predatory woman. I guarantee it.
The same thing would happen with a footballer called Hakimi, who plays for Paris.
Okay, that's the one that I spoke to you about earlier.
about the
He's gonna break that down, and I remember that story specifically. I was just like mind blown. This guy fucking destroyed it. I was like, that guy's a hero. That guy's a hero.
Just
Jake's
to make
gonna
sure,
break it down.
football is also considered
Soccer. Yeah.
soccer.
So Jake's gonna break that down right now.
Paris Saint-Germain, and he had his mum just basically took all of his money, everything that he ever earned. He never had a cent to his name, and then he was married and everything, and then his wife divorced him after a few years, and just to try and take him for all of his money, and she ended up having to pay him. But I mean, if there are young guys who are watching? I mean, I've done this with all of my assets and with my brother's assets. We've set up various different trusts, and nothing is really in our names. It's all in the names of the corporations and the trusts. But what would you say for young men to be looking out for if they're getting into these relationships, and that if they don't if they want to make sure that their assets are all tied up.
Well, I mean, I would consult with an attorney who would set it up in such a way where I would give them specific instructions. If I were to get divorced or left by a woman, they cannot touch any of this money. How do I go about doing that? And have them set it up in such a way where they can't. Simple.
Because prenuptial agreements are pretty rock solid if you get the right one, but they're not foolproof.
You actually have to keep updating prenups as the years go on. So yeah, Jake's right about that. It's not foolproof.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know,
And also, if you even
I saw a video that mentioned that it was this couple, they were talking about getting married, and you know, this guy, he already built a business, and I think he had like 4 different companies that he had, and you know, he got with this woman, and you know, they were about to get married, and he asked her that to sign a prenup. She made a whole big stink
Big
about
fuss.
it, like
Yeah, of course, of course.
and like, oh, like what, you don't trust me and anything like that. It's like, no, like I built this business
bro.
before you ever came into my life. Like, yes, now I have you in my life. If you're gonna stay in my life, then hey, then my business is basically a part of you, because obviously, you know, as long as you're with me, you're gonna be having, you know, my money.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. Last take before we move on here. We see that a lot with rich men, right? We see that a lot with rich men. In fact, even Donald Trump with his first wife, who wanted to get half of his fucking money, like Jeff Bezos gave half of his money to his fucking ex-wife, etc. Donald Trump spent like 20-30 million dollars on lawsuits because she wanted 15 mil, at least 15 mil, because she knew she wasn't going to win. So she was like, well, give me 15, give me 17. I think she said 17.
Yeah, I think it was 17.
He said, fuck that. I'm going to spend more money than the 17 and get you $1 million, and you're going to be fine. That's what it was. I was like, fucking pimp, bro. And that's the reality of it. Donald Trump built that up by himself. She didn't do shit. She just won the lottery. That's all she did. She won the lottery, and the divorce happened, etc. We move on from that. So even Donald Trump has a history of that. Trump was already prepared for that, and goes back to my point of waking up America here moving forward. But yeah, let's finish off the video, and then we'll shoot off.
even if you just live with a chick,
they can come after you without even being married to them. So the thing is like, you do definitely want to set it up in such a way where they can't access your assets. And if more men did that, there'd be less predatory behavior from women in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, you see it with Ashley St. Clair. Like there was no other reason for her to be getting impregnated by Elon Musk, because as she said, but the fact that, as she said, she wanted the little rocket babies, and that's just predatory behavior.
Well, in that case, it's just basic prostitution. I mean, she was like, look, I'll give you a baby, you pay for my life. And Musk is like, I don't give a shit. I'm a multi-billionaire. You know, I'll pay for your shit. And I'm sure that she probably had to sign all kinds of shit. Yeah, I'm sure these women have to sign all kinds of things, like they're entitled to like an apartment with a salary or whatever for taking care of his children. But but ultimately it's just basic prostitution. It's not even really predatory on her part. It's just prostitution. Period.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Well,
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, because I bet you would want to get pregnant from somebody who works at McDonald's.
yeah. You don't have enough money to do that, right?
Oh no, that's where they want the abortion button, right then. And
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Abort.
I get where Jake's coming from, where she was being predatorial, because she is preying on Elon. At the end of the day, we have the text messages on that, right? It was all planned out. But Elon, does he give a fuck? Probably not. The guy's the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Dude, and the dude's philosophy is something that I don't agree with, by the way. He just made another fucking bastard kid. In my opinion, that's really what it was. I don't think that flourishes society, or even to pull out messaging that way, right? But however, he could pull it off. The kid's still going to be well off. At the end of the day, is that going to affect him mentally when his father's not there in the equation?
Wow.
He's being raised full-time by the mother, which we already know mothers raise maggots, prisoner, criminals, etc., and people that vote Democrat. Let's just be let's just be 100 about it.
One of his kids became a trans testicle.
Proving my point.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, well, there you go. Like, hey, why? Because he was like, "Oh, I'm focused on my business. I'm focused on all these different companies I'm doing." But those are your true babies, versus like, hey, actually taking care of the kids that you're just impregnating these women.
Yeah, he was raised by the the spirit of the feminists, right? That's what it
Yeah,
was.
that's
He
true.
didn't have daddy there,
No,
and
and
yeah,
and this is why Elon Musk is now like about to go against the woke culture and everything like that, because they made one of his son into a transsexual. That's what it is.
yeah, but that's his fucking fault. That's my
Yeah,
point. Is that
yeah,
why are you surprised, Elon? Like, come on, dude.
yeah.
We need
But
fathers out there. This is the problem that infected the black community, even our community.
yeah,
Is the bastard rate. I mean, that's really what it is. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't agree with Elon how he goes about things.
no.
I can understand that he could afford it, but money is not everything when raising children. That's my
Yeah.
point.
And then also, like, I saw another video. I don't know if it was Andrew Tate or somebody else that said it. I can't recall right now, but I know that there was a video that mentioned about like, hey, most of these women that are multimillionaires,
Mhm.
or these rich women, are because of divorce.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
yeah,
it's divorce or inheritance. So women, when they'll get an inheritance by their father that's already rich, or they'll do it through the divorce, and that's how the majority of women that are millionaires get it through divorce or inheritance. I'll give you an
mm,
example. Amy Adams, she inherited the Tennessee Titans from her father, Bud Adams, who brought that franchise up to where it was, the Tennessee Titans in the NFL. He passed away, gave it to Amy. And now Amy's, she owns the Tennessee Titans. She
no
didn't
wonder
build
they
them
lose.
up. She didn't do any of that. No wonder they're fucking losers. What the fuck? Now, well, they were losers even with Bud. But nevertheless, I'm not gonna blame it. I'm not gonna blame it on Bud. But he left it in the hands of a fucking woman, and I don't see the Titans ever winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. Just saying. Fuck me.
Yep. That is true. I mean, hey, Houston Texans are doing better than them.
At this point,
Yeah, yep. That's what it is there.